Welcome in, everybody, to Betting Pros. It's time to place your bets. It is me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia, and this is BP NFL. It's Monday morning. You know what that means. It's time to look ahead to the early lines for week 4. We're going international this week, too. Going to Ireland. That's going to be fun. So there you go. Have a pint at the pub and then go check out some NFL football. It's a good time there. Andrew Erickson, the Undertaker, is here to take a look at the early lines. And Andrew, you know, sometimes the best advice we give is to not bet a game. And last week we talked about the Carolina Panthers and the Falcons, not loving the line and saying, boy, this has a lot of 4 outcomes in it. I didn't think the outcome we would get was even one of the 4. I really didn't think the 30-0 shutout was on the table, but apparently it was. So I guess sometimes the best bet is the one you don't place.
Yeah, they asked the head coach after the game, hey, so is Kirk Cousins going to get a chance to compete with the quarterback job here? No. Just like, and no. So, just Falcons being Falcons. Again, I think something that I tried to pick up on last week was being wary of certain teams that had played either 2 home games or 2 road games. And this was the Panthers' first home game of the season. So they significantly played much better at home than on the road. So that's something to keep in mind with some of these teams after 2 weeks. If they're both road or home games, sometimes we'll get a different outcome in a different territory.
All right, there you have it. All right, we're going to kick it up a notch here and take a look at week 4 in the NFL, try to find some of the early value here. So make sure you download the Betting Pros app. Make sure you subscribe to the channel here over at Betting Pros. We're trying to get the 100,000 subscribers. So lock in, click the like button. Let's go. Let's take a look here. Let's start with Thursday Night Football. Seattle coming off an ass kicking of the Saints. They are now 2-1. Arizona also 2-1. Look, they played pretty good defensively against the San Francisco 49ers. They stood up McCaffrey at the goal line a bunch of times. Some really physical play. It's nice to see a different version of this Arizona Cardinal defense, but they did fall short eventually. It's one of the few field goals that didn't get blocked yesterday to actually win a game. So the spread on this game right now, currently, you've got in some spots, actually on Betting Pros is pretty amazing here, Andrew. You can find Arizona at +1.5 here. If you look at some other spots, you'll see Seattle at +3.5, 41.5. is the consensus over. The consensus under, you have 43.5. And then it's basically a pick 'em on the money line. You get +102 for Seattle, -102 for Arizona. What are your thoughts on this one? Seattle defense also has played very well. Torrey Horton's starting to emerge here in this offense as well. So I know Seattle is going on the road in division game. What is your take on this one?
I like the Cardinals here. They are playing at home, and I think maybe Seattle's getting a little too much love from the market just based on them destroying the Saints and Spencer Rattler playing in their first road game of the season. I don't in the Betting Pros write-up this week, I was very much on the Seattle side saying that there's Rattler and the Saints don't have a chance going up to Seattle. Like, this is hostile environment, a young quarterback making his first start on the road this season, and part of why they dominated that game was special teams. Like, the Seahawks were like scoring like big special teams touchdown after kick return. They had really started easy position. They were benching their guys in the 4th quarter. So I think that was smart for Seattle to do that, just given that, hey, we have a Thursday night game. Let's get our guys out of there. So I think that they will be well rested. But I like the Cardinals at home. Like you said, their defense played pretty well, even though they were down a bunch of corners against the San Francisco 49ers. So I like Arizona with some of the points here at home.
Okay, let's get to the international game at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. The Minnesota Vikings are going to play the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're getting the Steelers +3 on Betting Pros, -2 for Minnesota, and then 40.5 is the consensus over for this contest. You have 41.5 on the other side here for the under, -135 for the Minnesota Vikings. Pittsburgh Steelers +132. I'll be honest with you, like watching that Minnesota Vikings defense rebounded a big way, rally around Carson Wentz too, who was, more than adequate, serviceable, moved the football, did what he needed to do to get the victory. We assume we're going to see him again for this game. Pittsburgh should not have won that game against the New England Patriots. They continued to just hand wins over to other teams. But I think Minnesota here on the money line, -135, let's just go right for that and not even muck around. Like, I'd rather be heavy there, especially because some of the juice already in the -2 is about the same as the money line in a lot of spots. So what's your thoughts on this first of the international games we've got this year?
Yeah, these games can get kind of wacky sometimes, especially with playing international. You don't really know how teams are going to adjust to the time zones, when they're going to travel. So I look to, what do I believe the most about these two teams? Who am I most confident? Which unit? And for me, it's the Vikings defense. Like, Brian Flores' unit, that's who I have the most faith in. I still think the Steelers defense has a lot of problems, and it wasn't for all the turnovers against the Patriots. Like, the Patriots, like you said, should have won that game. And I thought that the Patriots defense was actually kind of slowing down the Steelers passing game. Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah.
I think, is doing what Tom Brady did in his last year with Tampa Bay, is get the ball out quick. Like, they were not trying to throw the ball downfield whatsoever. All the DK Metcalf targets are behind the line of scrimmage, yards after the catch. And Flores is not, he's going to know that. Like, he's going to get his guys up against some of these receivers and make life hard for Aaron Rodgers. So I agree with you. I like the Vikings here.
All right. Next up on our list here, speaking of contest that could be one-sided, is the Buffalo Bills and the New Orleans Saints. Now, the Bills are at home getting 15.5 points. You're getting plus 17.5 right now for the consensus. That's the best number you could find for the Saints, plus 17.5. They did not look good on the road against Seattle and against Buffalo. No one's really giving them a chance. 47.5 is the over, 48.5 is the under. You ready for the money line? Plus 1150. I mean, at that point, like, crazy things can happen, right? It is a football game. Injuries can happen, but even plus 1150 sounds crazy. You know, the money line for the Bills is minus 1250. Just, it's pretty stout there. Andrew, the question is there any value here on this line? That's what we're talking about. I think we all believe that, betting against the Bills here is probably not the best scenario. But it is a ridiculous amount of points here, 17.5. Do you think this is another like 30-10 kind of blowout?
Well, I think the theme with the Bills, and I talked about this in the Thursday night primer, don't sweat the spread, just team total Bills, 30 points. That's what you got to bet, because we know that.
Yeah, that's what I thought until I lost on the hook on Thursday night, Andrew. So I'm still pissy about that. I'm just saying. Still a little pissy about the 31.5.
It usually works out. So 30.5 points for the Bill. I'm not sure exactly what their team total will be here, but yeah, if they're going to score 30 points, it's probably most likely going to happen. But from a sides, 17.5 points is too many points for the Saints. Spencer Rattler, yes, he is not a great quarterback, especially playing on the road, but the Saints are going to throw the ball 45, 50 times. So can they get a backdoor cover here at 17.5? I think so. So for me, it's just too many points. So I'll take the Saints.
All right. Certainly the biggest line of the week. There's no doubt about that. All right. Before we get to the next games here, today's show is brought to you by our presenting sponsor, Hard Rock Bet. Week 3 is wrapping up with Detroit versus Baltimore tonight, and you can listen to the streaks from Hard Rock Bet Stats Hub right now. And if you're looking for interesting bets, or at least stats that'll make you sound smart like we try to do here, you should check out Hard Rock Bet Stats Hub. And there's a list of streaks that you can find for tonight. And Baltimore has covered the spread in 4 straight home games. Gibbs has recorded 30 plus receiving yards following a win in 5 straight games. So trends and stats like this are really important when you're looking at betting lines. Andrew does a great job. So does our whole team here of bringing that kind of stuff up. But if you're looking for even more, especially in a specific game, Hard Rock Bet can provide that. And you can bet any of those streaks or anything else that we've talked about here today on Hard Rock Bet app right now. And if you haven't tried already, remember, when you place your first bet, $5, and it wins, you get $150 in bonus bets back. Plus, tonight at Hard Rock Bet, you can get a Monday night parlay boost for the game. There's new promos every single day. Boost your same game parlay, SGP Max, all of your bets and your extra winnings. So there you have it, everybody. So go check out Hard Rock Bet. Make your first deposit today. Bet $5, you win. Get $150 in bonus bets only at Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook. Okay, let's move on here to the next contest. We have 1 o'clock Eastern time. The Tennessee Titans 0-3. The Houston Texans also 0-3. Andrew Erickson, the battle of no-win teams here. Somebody's got to win, right? I guess we could tie, but that's gross. So Houston is a 7-point favorite in this game at home. Seems like a lot considering the way they've played this year. Tennessee Titans, I'm going to say the Titans have had a rough schedule to start the year. I think this is kind of a winnable game for the Titans. I'm not going to lie. Plus 7.5. I kind of like the points here with the Titans. 38.5 is the over. 40.5 is the under. You're getting plus 303 on the money line for the Titans. I'm very tempted. I'm just wondering, are the Houston Texans kind of just falling apart at the seams here? I know the offensive line is bad. We had our concerns. They couldn't get the job done in Jacksonville. I thought back up against the wall, they would find some pride. Well, they didn't. Instead, they found another L. So, Andrew, walk me through what you think here. I like the Titans with the points here. What's your thoughts?
I think that's probably the side I would pick, the Titans with the points. I do think that this is where the Texans do get their first win of the year because, yes, they are 0-3, but they've lost 3 close games. So it's not like they've been getting totally dominated and blown out by every single team they play. They've also played like 2 of the better teams with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 3-0. The Rams are 2-1, but one of the better teams in the NFC, and then obviously losing a divisional game against the Jaguars on the road. So, but all close games. So I think that it is kind of weird to see an 0-3 team favored by a touchdown, but again, just Callahan, man. Just fade this guy. You can't bet on Brian Callahan and the Tennessee Titans. That's the thing. He's hamstringing Cam Ward in this offense, and so I will take the Texan side here.
All right, the Cleveland Browns came in with their first victory, upsetting the Packers there, so they moved to 1-2. The Lions will play tonight. We'll see how they do. The spread here, obviously, is in the favor of the Detroit Lions. 8.5-point favorites. You're getting the over at 45.5, the under 46, plus 375 on the money line for the Cleveland Browns. Andrew, it's Detroit. It's 45.5, so it's got to be an over, right?
You know me too well, Joe. Of course it's an over here. You got to go with the over, especially with the Lions playing off a short week. Maybe the Browns are feeling more inspired, getting Quinshaw Judkins going in the run game, have talented receivers across the board. So, yes, I think this game will go over the total.
All right, Washington, we don't know yet if Jaden Daniels is going to be back. We assume he is, but let's not make an ass out of you or me before we do that. Marcus Mariota did get the Commanders a victory last week. The Atlanta Falcons are 1-2. They'll be at home licking their wounds. They are 3-point underdogs at home. You're getting minus 1.5 on BP is the best consensus number there for the Washington Commanders. 45.5 is the total everywhere right now for the over and the under, and you're getting plus 135 here as well for the Atlanta Falcons. So home underdogs, the Atlanta Falcons, they've earned this mark with the way they played last week for sure. So is this a bounce back week here? Sneaky value on the Falcons, or instead are we looking at the Falcons sinking deeper into the mud?
I think this is a spot to bat the Falcons, and I can't remember exactly what Terrell's close your eyes special is. I'm not sure if this would qualify for that.
It does feel like it might be in that vein.
It's usually
we got to call up T and find out. I think
it's usually a team that gets smoked, and then they're catching points playing at home the next week. And I think that you should get on Atlanta right now because I don't think Jay Daniels is going to play. They said on the broadcast that there's no timetable for him to return. So to me, that screams like this guy's not playing next week, especially with how well Mariota played against the Raiders. I feel like Jay Daniels is their franchise. Like they will not risk putting him out if he is not 110% ready to go, especially with a knee injury. So I think the value clearly right now is to jump on the Falcons, catching points at home, and what Terrell Furman will most likely come away with best bets later in the week on Thursday as a close your eyes special.
Yeah, it's certainly going to feel like that. Plus 135 on the money line for the Falcons, too. Not too shabby. All right, don't forget, everybody, download the BettingPros app. Sync your sports books for free, where it's iOS or Android. And when you do, you can monitor all of your bet performances by sport, by bet type, including game picks, props, and parlays. You can also create custom betting systems to find winning trends and profitable opportunities. Not to mention, you can also follow some of the best out there at the betting game, all on the app. You get a 7-day free trial of BettingPros Premium right now by downloading the app at bettingpros.com/apps or wherever you get your apps from in the app stores, and use the promo code JUICE and you activate your trial right now. It's a great time of year with college football, NFL. You got NBA around the corner too. Lots of fun stuff here on the BettingPros app, so get in on it. Philadelphia Eagles found a way to win. They're 3-0, and so are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is going to be a salty one. Here you go. Buccaneers at home, 3-point underdogs to the Philadelphia Eagles, the reigning defending world champions. Minus 2.5 on the Eagles side, 45.5 for the over, 46.5 for the under, plus 140 on the money line for Tampa. So Baker is an underdog we love, but possibly without Mike Evans this week, it seems like that's trending in that direction. Again, it's only Monday. We're waiting for more news, but he's already down Godwin, now down Evans. Is there enough left here for Baker Mayfield to pull out an upset over the champs who really, look, the Rams should have won that football game. They really should have. They controlled the game. The fourth quarter got away from them. They didn't close. They didn't finish. They didn't execute special teams. And the Eagles, to their credit, they grinded out a victory. Can they grind out another one on the road against Tampa, or does their good luck come to an end, Andrew?
Yeah, this one's tough to try to handicap with the Mike Evans injury, the annual hamstring injury. For those that own Mike Evans in fantasy football, we all know about this. He's gonna miss. He's probably gonna be out for the next couple of weeks. They should get though Chris Godwin coming back into the lineup, but he's coming off a season-ending injury. We'll see how much he plays, what shape he's in. I know Egbuka's also been kind of playing through some injuries as well, and Tristan Wirfs has a chance to also come back. So some reinforcements for Tampa Bay. I think for me, this might be a better live betting opportunity where, hey, the Eagles jump out to a 10-0 lead and you just take the Buccaneers with as many points you can get because you know that Baker Mayfield.
Baker has been coming back in every game so far. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's because, again, I ultimately don't know if they're going to be able to pull it out just because they may be just too undermanned against a
That's a
really
good
good
point.
Philadelphia Eagles team. And again, they still have injuries on the offensive line, even if Tristan Wirfs does come back. So I think that's probably the play for me. No pregame bet, but live bet the Buccaneers because you know that Baker Mayfield's going to be rallying the troops at some point, but might be a little bit too late when it's all said and done.
All right, next one up here has already been moving around. The Carolina Panthers traveling to New England. New England winless at home this year because they keep turning over the football. Stop it. Stop. Please, no more Ramondre Stevenson. I beg you. Just Travion Henderson, please, going forward. Anyway, hold on, let me take a drink here. Don't worry, it's just water in the bottle. It's just it's a rough morning here. All right, New England Patriots -3.5. Sometimes you're seeing some other lines too. Carolina Panthers +6.5 in some spots. Also moving around too. I've seen even New England now favored by 4.5 in some other books. So things are moving around the BettingPros app. Feels like nobody knows quite how to handicap this one out of the gate, and I understand why. So the over for this game, 43.5. The under 45.5 is the best number you can get on BP. +180 for the Panthers on the money line. Andrew, look, New England has to take better care of the football. Drake May's playing good football. The defense is starting to come around a little bit. I think those pieces are starting to work together. They still don't have Christian Gonzalez, right? That's when they get him back eventually, theoretically, it makes him even better. I want to, again, close my eyes and just think the Patriots can win this football game, but 3.5, 4.5, like that's getting a little rich for my blood here in terms of my confidence.
Yeah, I'm right there with you with the confidence level. I do think that this is probably a play for the over. I think that's the value I like. I like the over on the Patriots Steelers game, which would have hit if they had just not turned the ball over in the red zone every single time they got the football. So the Patriots were moving the ball at will against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They just could not convert them into touchdowns. And the Panthers just scored 30 on the Atlanta Falcons and had no problems with it. And I think in that game didn't go over. So again, I don't think the Panthers defense is still any good. I still think that they will struggle, especially now that they're back on the road, right? We talked about this. Panthers at home, okay, they play much better, but every single game they've played on the road, they've given up a ton of points. So I like the over here, especially where I'm thinking the lowest line is 43.5. Yes, give me the over on that.
All right, next one here. I am on. I want it. I think it's going to be a blowout. I really do. The Los Angeles Chargers, I think, are a really good football team, and they grinded out another victory. They're 3-0. They were my pick to win that division. Everybody said I was crazy, especially when Slater went down. And I'm like, no, I think we're right. Now Khalil Mack went down, and everybody thinks I'm still crazy. But they're going to replace him with SEC Defensive Player of the Year in Kyle Kennard. So he's ready to, get up there and make his presence felt too. So, like, I think that you're in a spot here where the Chargers are 3-0. The Giants may or may not start Russell Wilson ever again. I don't think they should. I think Russ is cooked. I think this is crazy. And even last week, we talked about, the 400-yard game and all that stuff. That's because 1 out of every 3 of those moon balls gets caught by the Giants. Another 1 of the 3 get caught by the other team, and the other 1 of the 3 are incomplete. So that's 66% of the time that we are in failure rate here for Mr. Russell Wilson. So please, for the love of God, can we make a change at quarterback? Now, even so, I don't want to feed Jackson Dart to the Chargers necessarily. I don't know how this is going to go. The Chargers are 5.5-point favorites. I think it should be more. We're at +6 for the Giants. I have zero confidence in that offense. I love Cam Scatterboo, though. It makes me smile. I'm so happy for Cam. 44.5 is the number for the over, 45 for the under. Then you got +210 on the Giants money line. Look, I would jump on the Chargers now. I think as the week goes on, it's going to get worse for them. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know if it will get worse for them because you have the West Coast to East Coast type of narrative where the Chargers have to travel on the road to play a 1:00 kickoff. And this is such a classic Chargers bomb spot in in past Chargers teams where it's like, oh, of course the Chargers, like they look so good on paper. But to your point, they feel different this year. Like Justin Herbert is playing at an MVP level. And when you're looking at the top guys, Lamar, Josh Allen, I put Justin Herbert right into that conversation with how well that he's playing right now. So I agree. I'm going to back the Chargers here. And I think that probably will see Jackson Dart. If we don't see him this week, I mean, they're playing the Saints in week 5. Like, doesn't that seem like the prime spot, especially with Andrew Thomas looking like he's going to get back up to playing a full complement of snaps. Now, I don't think he played in the second half on Sunday night, but he definitely helped the offensive line in the beginning of the game. Things kind of got out of hand in the second half for the Giants. But yes, Russell Wilson. Yeah, when you're not playing the Dallas Cowboys, it's a lot harder to play quarterback.
Yeah, well, I mean, Caleb Williams looked good against that Cowboys defense yesterday.
a
That's how bad
lot,
they
a lot
are.
of quarterbacks are going to look good
Well, they're
against.
saying that's how bad they are, and Caleb has not been good. Indianapolis Colts, they've been good. They're undefeated. They'll take on the Rams, who had to get saddled with a loss on the road, a tough one here too. So don't sleep on the Colts. They are challenging teams. Colts getting 6 points here. The Rams best numbers -3.5, getting 47.5 on the over, 48.5 on the under, plus 170 for the Colts money line. Now that's intriguing, but at the same time, I think the Rams take out their aggressions on the Colts here, and I think the perfect season for the Rams, for the Colts comes to an end here in LA. What are your thoughts about this one?
I agree. I like the Rams here. I think that the pass rush that the Rams have is going to put Daniel Jones into some uncomfortable positions that I don't think that he's not as been in as much through the first 3 weeks of the season. And even last week, again, if it had been any other team but the Tennessee Titans, I would have felt less confident that the Colts were going to get the job done. But because they were playing the Titans on the road, I was like, well, doesn't matter because you just fade Callahan no matter what, whatever team he's playing. So I do think on the road, even in LA, I think that maybe we see a step back with Daniel Jones just this particular week. But, his overall body of work, we've seen Daniel Jones be a good quarterback before when he's been put in good situations. And obviously so far with the Indianapolis Colts, that has been the case. However, I think that like the pass rush, like I mentioned, I think that's going to give him some fits. So I like the Rams here at home.
All right, next up here, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars 2-1 going to San Fran 3-0. This should be an easy victory here for San Francisco with the way Trevor Lawrence has played this year. You're getting 4.5 plus 4.5 for the Jacksonville side, -3.5 for San Fran. 45.5 is the total everywhere, and then plus 170 for Jacksonville, -200 on the money line for San Fran. So 3.5, I'm comfortable here with this. I think this is a touchdown win for the San Francisco 49ers. What do you think, Andrew?
Do you care what quarterback plays for the 49ers? Because Brock Purdy might come back. So, that's a thing that I'm just kind of curious about.
Look, the Arizona Cardinals always play. We talked about this last week. They always play the 49ers tough. Always. And that defense is improved. So I was not shocked to see that game low total. I was not shocked to see it be kind of boring and sluggish and all that stuff. I just don't think look, I don't think you can watch the I don't think you can watch the Jacksonville Jaguars this year and be impressed. I'm not impressed by anything they do yet. And the 49ers defense, I think, is good. And I think Jacksonville going on the road, I'll tell you what, if Brock Purdy was playing, I would set it at 5.5, to be honest with you. With Mac Jones playing, I think the 3.5 is good. That's how I look at this one.
I think for me, I think that Brock Purdy's probably actually going to play in this game. And I think to your point,
I think he's good for 2 points. What do
the
you
line,
think? I would say 2 is the Purdy.
I agree with that. And I think the market is going to move in that direction. So I think for me, I think I like Jacksonville with the points here. And I think that I'm going to get more points if Brock Purdy gets announced as starter, because I think more of the market's going to react to that and not react enough to Nick Bosa is probably not going to play in this game. He got hurt last week. So he's one of the biggest defensive players they have on their defensive line. So that's a concern for me for the 49ers in stopping the Jacksonville offense that at times has had opportunities with ETN, Brian Thomas Jr. Again, tough matchup last week with Erickson. I know he got banged up, but and the 49ers, one of the trends that's held very strong over the last couple of years with Shanahan is they tend to be very, very overvalued at home against the spread. They just don't, they end up winning these games, but they don't actually win them by the amount that we all expect them to. So I like Jacksonville even on the road with some points.
Okay, next up here we have the Chicago Bears, who got their first W. They head to Las Vegas. They are 1-2 also. Vegas plus 1.5. Chicago plus 1.5. Those are the best two numbers you're going to find. 46.5 for the over, 47.5 for the under, -103 for the Bears, the best money line, -105 for Vegas. So choose your adventure here. You want to get involved in this one here? I don't love the Bears defense. I'm not exactly sure what the best unit on the field is of these four. I got to be honest with you. I like that logic that you used earlier with the Vikings. I'm just not sure I have a favorite with these four choices that I have in this game. What are your thoughts?
Is this our 4 outcome game that we're not exactly sure?
Well, I think Vegas is telling you. Basically, they went, we don't know either. Go ahead. What do you want? You want to bet? You think the Bears are good? Okay. You think the Las Vegas Raiders aren't that bad? Okay, sure. Go for it. I think that's what they're telling us.
Yes, I think that is what they're telling us. Maybe a play towards the over. Just it's a dome. If Caleb Williams can kind of roll over. Again, he's not playing the Dallas defense, but are we afraid of the Raiders defense that just gave up 30 points to a Marcus Mariota-led Commanders team that had Terry McLaurin play 60% of the snaps and leave with the injury? So I think it's probably an over for me, but like we just said, maybe a 4 outcome type of game, and maybe we should not be too super confident in what we think is going to happen because, like you said, even Vegas seems kind of we're not really sure what how it's going to happen in this contest.
All right, next up is a real fun one. 425, you got Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Baltimore Ravens. Now, Baltimore, we'll see what they do tonight and see what injuries come with this. But as of right now, you're getting -3 on the road for the Baltimore Ravens, +3 for the Kansas City Chiefs. That makes sense to me. 48.5 is the over, 49.5 is the under, -144 for Baltimore, +122 on the money line for the Chiefs. Now, typically, Mahomes is an underdog is something I run to. However, I don't think the Chiefs look good this year. They even struggled at times against the Giants. And the Giants have some players on defense, so I don't want to give them too much crap here. But that Chiefs offense just looks dreadful. They can't run the football. Mahomes just doesn't seem comfortable. Tyquan Thornton makes a couple big plays and they end up winning this football game. But I like Baltimore with the 3 here. What are your thoughts, Andrew?
Yeah, I like the Ravens side too. With the Chiefs offense, everything looks like a struggle. Nothing looks
Yeah.
easy.
Even
Just getting a
easy
first
things.
down,
Yeah.
scoring a touchdown, everything just seems so hard. And yes, Taekwon Thornton came up with big plays, but it was after he didn't come up with the big plays. So just everything
Well,
is
Andrew, the
so
play
tough.
last night when do you remember when Mahomes had 3 pump fakes and you have underneath just Travis Kelce just sitting in the zone and he missed him? That to me defines the Chiefs offense so far in 2025. It's like, we're trying hard. We're really trying. I'm trying to make something work. Where is it? Where is it? I got nothing. Okay. Oops, incomplete. How is that an incomplete? It's like an 8-yard pass right underneath the Travis Kelce. That's money in the bank. Just take it. And he couldn't complete it. And it just looked, again, like some sort of encapsulated how I feel about this Chiefs team to start the season.
Yeah, I think that if you want to bet on the Chiefs with the Mahomes magic and Chiefs as underdogs, just wait for them to fall behind against the Ravens, and then you bet Chiefs on Chiefs with points, Chiefs on the money line at much better odds as a live bet. Because if your entire analysis is just, oh, well, Mahomes magic, then he can do that if they're down by 10. It doesn't matter when the magic happens. If that's what we want to bet on, I think it's a better live bet than a pregame bet.
All right, next up, another big time matchup. You got the Green Bay Packers going against the Dallas Cowboys. We won't have CeeDee Lamb for this one. A high ankle sprain. He's going to be missing a fair amount of time. So Dallas +6, Green Bay -5.5, but Green Bay lost to the Browns on the road. They look sluggish. And look, I get it. A team at home on the precipice of going 0-3. They had some respect for themselves. Give credit to the Browns, man. Judkins looks good.
Browns defense is legit. Like that
Absolutely.
unit is so good and so underrated because of how bad the offense is.
Well, but let's talk about that because the total here is 48.5 +225. My inclination is for the under here. Look, I don't love the Dallas defense, obviously. No love there. Green Bay is still a very good defense, but I think without CeeDee Lamb in this game, that big playmaker, and the Green Bay Packer defense, and all of the weapons still not 100% healthy here for the Packers, this feels like kind of a 2017 kind of game to me at best. I don't think this is the scoring onslaught that the lines are telling you it's going to be. I really don't.
Yeah, I think that's probably a strong lean. It's just a matter of how bad Dallas's defense does against the Green Bay Packers. So I think I'm fine with laying the points with Green Bay because I just don't think that Dallas is going to be able to stop
That's
Jordan
fine.
Love
That's
and
fine.
Josh
I just
Jacobs.
like the under. 48's a big number.
Yeah,
for these two teams
but
right now.
Dallas is terrible on defense there. So.
Dallas is terrible on defense, which gives you pause. But CeeDee Lamb out of this equation is a big loss.
Yeah,
Pickens is not a volume guy. That's not his bag, right?
Yeah.
So
and you can tell that who does Dak trust the most in this offense? It's Ferguson. Why do you think Ferguson got 1 billion targets in this game and not George Pickens? Because Lamb basically didn't play the entire game. He didn't have any targets. He got hurt on a carry. So I think that we're seeing that Dak and George Pickens, again, new quarterback, new wide receiver, they're still kind of gelling, trying to figure out how they're going to work together. And they're going to have time the next coming weeks with Lamb out. But I think right now it's going to be a lot of tight end dump offs to Jake Ferguson.
All right, we got 2 Monday night games too. The Jets and Dolphins. We got a bunch of 0-3 teams. I don't know, we have 5 0-3 teams, 6. 2 of them are in New York, Andrew. 2 of them. 0-3. Winless New York football teams. Taking on the winless Miami Dolphins. Again, somebody's got to come out victorious here. +5.5 for the Jets, -2.5 on the Dolphins. You're getting 43.5 for the over, under 45.5, +132 on the money line for the Jets. I got to tell you, I kind of like the Jets here. I know it sounds crazy because they're 0-3, but they play hard. They're not good, but they play hard. And Miami doesn't play hard, and they're not great. That defense is not good. This is the one game maybe all year. The Dolphins are favorites, and I'm just not buying it, Andrew. Give me the 5.5 with the Jets.
I think this is the upset special. Where are you going with the New York
like
Jets? A division game on the road. Both teams backs against the wall 0-3, but vibes, right? Aaron Glenn in a game that they lost against the Buccaneers when it looked like they were going to come away with a comeback. Yeah. After the game, Aaron Glenn is clapping his team up. Be like,
let's go. We hung in there. Yeah. That's right. And that's great. That's good coaching right there.
Yeah. So I think that just from a morale standpoint, I think the Jets still feel, and then maybe they get a boost if Justin Fields comes back. So you're getting the regular quarterback back under center against a Dolphins defense that we know. I mean, Miami's soft. I mean, we know this. Like, they're not a team that's going to come back. The minute that they go down 10 points, game's over, right? Like, they're not going to make a comeback. So I will also take the Jets here on the road. So yes, especially plus 132 on the money line. Yes, upset special, New York Jets. And this is is this the Monday night game? Is this the Monday night game?
Yeah, Holy is the first of the Monday nights. Yes,
double header on Monday night. Yeah.
So you got the doubleheader at 7:15 starting, and at 8:15 you got the Joe Burrow-less. This game sounded really good 2 weeks ago. Joe Burrow.
Always looks so good on paper preseason.
So good. Feels so good. Not so much. Bengals here getting their ass kicked by the Minnesota Vikings last week. Browning with too many turnovers there. Plus 10. Denver at home getting -7. That's the best number. 44 is the best over. 45.5 the best under. A plus 300 here for the Bengals to come out with the upset. But Andrew, this one to me, it's a lot of points here. Again, I don't expect Browning and the Bengals to be that bad every time. That Minnesota defense is very good, but so is the Denver Bronco defense. I think this one to me is a little bit wait and see. I want to see some injury reports too on the Denver side before I keep going here. But do you see any early value in this last of the games for Week 4?
Just give me the Broncos. Sean Payton, historically speaking, weeks 1 and 2, not that great against the spread. Weeks 3 and 4, and even last week, the game played exactly out like Vegas had it. The total was exactly what was the closing line total. The spread was 3 points for the Chargers. So I think Denver takes care of business here. Week 4 for Sean Payton, very good against the spread, and Jake Browning he's a backup quarterback for a reason. And I don't think that enough people were considering the fall off of Joe Burrow to Jake Browning, and it was too much. Well, how did he do in 2023? He can be better, and maybe he's not actually better, and maybe Joe Burrow's the best pocket passer in the NFL for a reason. So, yes, give me the Broncos at home.
All right, make sure you download the BettingPros app. Bet smarter, not harder. Again, it's free to sync your sports books, and of course, you get all the insights and all the tools to help you be the best bettor you could possibly be. Also, don't forget Hard Rock Bet. Bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets only at Hard Rock Bet when your $5 bet wins. And subscribe to the Betting Bros YouTube channel right now. Trying to get to 100,000 this year. We can do it with your help. I believe in you. That'll do it for us, but the story of the game goes on. For Andrew Erickson, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.